with Scott.
I'm recording now.
Oh, we can't talk about it. Nope.
Oh,
Nope. We're recording.
done. Done with that.
Nope.
Excuse me.
How dare you?
We do look like a bunch of war pigs this morning, man.
Yeah. The weekend was not kind to us.
The years have not been kind.
I found that I need maybe an hour in the morning to kind of
Yeah.
clear my throat for like a solid hour.
Can you imagine how bad that's going to be in like 30 years?
No. Like I'm gonna have to wake up and then stretch for an hour. Like my knees will hurt. Oh, ooh, just a bunch of those.
It does, but like you'll be up at 4 a.m. anyway because you can't sleep. So.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Nature has its way of, working itself out,
balancing the scales. That reminds me, Megan sent us a text.
Oh, did she? I didn't get it.
Yeah, which you cannot kick on her.
That's right.
Wait, was it a text? Yeah, it was a text. And it was a play off of some of the progressive stuff.
It was like a link to something?
With a visit. No, it was pictures of her and her family at the airport. And she was wearing a fanny pack. And she had brought snacks to the airport.
Snacks to the airport. It's amazing.
She's pretty young to be like that.
Oh, she's a trendsetter, dude.
Yeah, it did reiterate what we've been talking about for not a decade, but going on it, of we need to make fanny packs.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's my one gripe. That's my one gripe of all the years in the podcast. I'm dying for a fanny pack.
Well, you can get one. It doesn't have to be a Three Dogs North branded one.
Yeah, it does. I can't.
I'll send you the JPEG, dude. You can just have it made. Order it custom.
No, I can't wear it and then not have the fans not wear theirs.
Right.
I refuse to do that.
Yeah, it's not a road I want to go down either.
I designed a bunch one year.
That got weird. That was during the stay-at-home stuff, man.
Yeah.
I remember you texting us like a pretty serious idea.
Absolutely, it was a mask.
Yeah,
It
did not.
Aren't you
look
glad
good.
we didn't go that way?
I'm a little bit. But then it just said, "I am church," or "Be church."
Yeah,
and it was like a safety. The implication was be safe, wear a mask,
right.
Be church. But it didn't look like that. It looked like something else.
Man, that would have been super inside. No one would have understood that had something to do with the internet radio show.
That's the best, man.
So big news. Did you want to share it with the listeners?
Yeah. So I got a call recently from Uncle Sam, and I'll be going in May to serve as the chaplain and the Catholic priest of the 82nd Airborne Division, and they're stationed at Fort Bragg, but it looks like they have been active recently, and wasn't on any of my lists or anything like that. So super excited, super honored to be their chaplain. And Rob, you're already on board, man. You're already getting 82nd Airborne stuff, man.
I'm looking for apparel. Yeah, gonna see what I can find on Amazon. Just support, man.
So appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just the apparel that I'm picturing that is available is like all over print. You know, that kind of like that aesthetic where it's really big and sort of like the old English font kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Either that or like
pain is weakness leaving the body kind of stuff.
Right.
Which is the Marines, I know, but
yeah, I didn't even know that was the Marines. I thought that was just a thing we say.
I think it's the Marines.
Yeah, ours is all the way or death from above, which I love.
Above is cool.
Death from above is so sweet. The 173rd, they're a unit out in Italy. They're called the Sky Soldiers.
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So that was my first choice. And then I had a couple other places in Georgia here just to stay close to family. But
you mentioned that these units get famous because of heroic stuff they did. What was the 82nd's claim to fame again?
The 82nd, well, they were formed in World War I, 1917. And then, I mean, they've done stuff all the way throughout, even into Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom. They've had jumps into Normandy. They were there in World War II. They were there in Vietnam. They were there in Desert Storm, Desert Shield. They were there in Iraq and Afghanistan. So they've been around for a long time. They just have a really storied history. And one of the things that they're known for is they have maroon berets for their covers. And it's like, it's a unique thing that the 82nd gets to do, have a different headgear than the rest of the Army. So,
and how many? This is a division. Can you also review the numbers, unit, division?
Yeah. So they're part of the 18th Air Corps, and so it goes Corps. Man, I'm gonna mess this up,
which is like thousands of guys and ladies.
That would be huge. That's gimunga. And then a division is well, it's tough to put a number on it, but so it goes Corps, division, brigade, battalion, platoon, squad, team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so platoons, there's usually like 40 to 50 guys in a platoon, and there's usually like 4 or 5 platoons in a company. And my unit now in Macon, they have 7 companies in 1 battalion, and I think we have 3 battalions in 1 brigade. So
wait, I didn't hear division there.
And then there's 3 brigades that make up 1 division.
Got it.
Yeah. And then,
So we're in the 1,000 or 2,000 people range?
Probably more than that. Probably 10,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
so like a parish.
Division. Yep. Yeah. And they're kind of scattered throughout. So I'm really excited. Everybody that I've told is just like, hey,
I'm excited for you,
out.
Mike. This is really cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Are you... share what you will, but with the recent unpleasantness and the feelings among, I don't know if you've talked to your military people, but any fears or excitement, or where's your heart at with all this geopolitical stuff?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really understand what Russia's doing. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I mean, not to get too much into the details, but like, if Russia wanted Ukraine, Putin's not, he's a wild man, but he's not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And they have forces that they could just flatten Kiev and take whatever they wanted. But they didn't do that.
Right.
Which is weird. And so, like, I don't know what his end game is. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's just poking the bear to see how people would respond. But it makes everything blurry and unclear. I don't know what it's going to look like in the future. But honestly, I've taken a lot of solace. Like, when I told my mom, I didn't even realize how unexpected her response was, because I expect it because I know her, until I told a bunch of the ladies at the parish that this is what I'm going to be doing. There's a good chance, like, they're tip of the spear type folks, there's a good chance I could end up being over there or whatever. And they're like, oh my gosh, is your mom okay? Is she doing okay with this? And I'm like, oh my God, that didn't even cross my mind, because I told my mom and she was like, hell yeah, go over there and kick some butt.
Like the mom from Maccabees?
I'm like,
do not disgrace me.
Do not
die gloriously.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It did not even cross my mind that my mom should be worried or something like that. I don't even know. So I that's kind of been the atmosphere that when I've shared with people, that's kind of been the response. And so I think that's bolstered my excitement and has diminished my fear of stuff. It's like, that's where we got to be. That's what we got to do. So,
right.
I'm not super worried about it. Yeah.
You may not have thought about this at all yet, but just with the intensity, like, of that, and we were talking before we hit record, of like, man, you've been, like, since I've known you, you've been talking about, like, the call to be a military chaplain for 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big thing. But what about like, yeah, any thoughts on the thing you're most thankful to have learned, like going into this? Like,
Oh man.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
And not to like lead you into anything, but I was honestly, for whatever reason, I was thinking about like our Stein class with Duran and just like the understanding of the human person that like you have. Because even like your stories, I mean, talking about it's just an intense thing that you're going to go and do. And I think that's the exact, it's just so cool to hear you say of like, yeah, we just got to be there, you know? And as a priest, you gotta be there. Does that
Right.
make sense? I don't know. I'm just curious of like how that all integrates.
Yeah, man. I mean, if I don't know. I'll have to think about that, dude.
Yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. It's
No,
a big question.
That's a really good question. Like things that I've learned specifically in priesthood. I don't know about you guys, but like over the years, I've grown in deep confidence in like Jesus's fidelity to people and feeling like I don't have to save people, which is really a relief. Like, you know, you have a little part to play, and if you're there with the person in your priesthood, then like Jesus is going to take care of the rest. I think that's going to be a real blessing with a lot of these guys and gals. It's like you can't fix, you can't save these people, and they're going to get into a lot of stuff because they live intensely, like we talked about. But it's like that's not your job. Your job is to just to do what Jesus is asking and know that He's going to be faithful. And like I think I've grown in my understanding of that because He's been faithful to me primarily, even when I'm stupid. And I think I've like learned that probably deeper in my bones than in my head. So really kind of growing in trust in that, I think that'll be a real blessing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a good question, man. I'll have to think about it.
That's awesome, dude. You know, we joked before. I joked with you, are you going to build a hipster coffee shop with your soldiers? But yeah, the mission that you have, it's so, I mean, it hasn't happened yet. So I don't want to like put too many features to it. Well, it's not like the present reality, but it seems to me more like you have to be aware of that reality that like I'm not building something. This is not me. This is not some like enduring thing that requires my vision. It's not reactive, but it's proactive. Like you're going to where the edge is to the people that are on it and being there for them and giving them the sacraments, pastoring them. But like you just have to be you have to be responsive to reality as it is. You know, you don't create the environment, you just like inhabit it, and then Jesus becomes present, which is pretty like just emblematic of the kingdom. You know, the kingdom of God is in your midst. Yeah, so that it's just really, it's really interesting to me. Like you have to be more aware of that reality because you can't. It's also governed by providence. You know, the encounters that you'll have, the people that you'll be with, the things that are going on. With like you can't pretend to have any effect on where this unit is going and what Vladimir Putin is going to do, or like it's so much this like in the world but not of the world, and the world is going around a mile a minute, swirling around with what it's all about, and you're just there keeping people like stable in their identity and their relationship with God, which to me is very cool, and also makes me think the diocesan priesthood is so lit, you know, as the kids say these days. Like we get on, I feel like we were talking about this with the
what
the
does that mean?
Lit means like legit, like
Okay.
rad.
It means rad. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's another, yeah.
I should have said rad.
Oh, well, I know what rad means, obviously.
Like Millhouse says,
Tubular.
don't say radical. That's what I say. Um, yeah, we were talking with the vocation director team here in Chicago. We were doing a little bit of leadership team exercises and discernment of our core values, core purpose, and it was pretty cool. But one of the things we kind of ran up against was like the image of the diocesan priesthood. It's like when you go to Seek and stuff with these conferences with college kids and people that are of that age and of that mentality to be discerning their vocations. You've got like the CFRs with their long gray hoods, and you've got, Community of St. John or like these different communities that are, first of all, can pull from anywhere and also have like just this image that's like holy and radical, and we're legit, and we're kind of like the shock troops of Jesus. And then you got the diocesan vocation directors and they're like suits being like, hey, if you're from these two counties, you should join the priesthood, and it's almost like we are less legit, but we also have kind of harder lives because we have to live by ourselves. We're more exposed to the secular world. You're not in this little enclave of like-minded people praying with each other, living in community. And so I think our image, it's harder to sell it, or like we feel less able to sell it as vocations people for that reason. But I think actually, like, you can look at it and flip it on its head, and it's a little bit more like, okay, this is not a safe vocation. It's not like, oh, I'm going to feel like really legit and also not be as much of at risk of like being exposed to the world. Like the diocesan priesthood is not for the faint of heart, not to puff us up or anything like that, but it's just kind of a shame that we don't have a ton of like patron saints. St. John Vianney is a diocesan priest, I think, but he was like third order of St. Francis. Military chaplains. What was it? What's the Grunt Padre, or the one that you went to the funeral for? Emil.
Yeah, Emil Capon.
Yeah. Some of those, and then of course the apostles, the originales, would be our order. But just like the idea that we're doing, you're a pastor of a parish in Southern Illinois, Rob. I'm a Newman chaplain at a big urban university, and you're going to be the chaplain, the sacramental priest for the 82nd Airborne Division. Like that's the diocesan priesthood. We just go where the people are, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's true. And that was one of the things that what Cardinal George ingrained in Bishop Barron, who ingrained it in us, is like, we're forming you guys to be priests of Jesus Christ, which means that you can hopefully step into a plethora of realities and be a conduit of God's grace and his mercy.
Stable in your identity. Because it's not, you're not going to get your identity from anything else other than this interior lived relationship with Christ, particularly around the Eucharist. Right. That's the meaning of our lives.
Yeah. I emailed Barron recently, and we're using for our Lenten book club, we're using his Eucharist book. So I was telling him that, but just like put in there how thankful that specific point was, because he talked about it very kind of adamantly during our priesthood retreat as well, of like, you are being ordained as a priest of Jesus, and that's it. Like, so it's not like you're not being formed to be a parish priest or to be like this type of priest. You're a priest, then you go do what the church asks you to do, wherever, whenever. I was like, man, that's like in a huge grace, like day in and day out, to go back to that.
Right. And you say that as a parish priest.
Right, for sure. Mm-hmm. But it's still, it's like, man, if you put your identity in that, like, good luck, because you will burn out. Yeah, for sure.
And have very little to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm jazzed for you, Mike.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, man.
Me too. I gotta start working out like hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I gotta become an animal.
Yeah, welcome to
Do you
the
get
club,
to have
bro.
a beard in the 82nd?
I'll have to shave this off.
Hmm.
Man, it's just a bummer. What a great beard,
Is
dude.
it at this point? Is there a razor that can shave that off,
Yeah, dude.
or is it like a treatment?
Yeah, I got a chainsaw in the shed. No hack at it. No, I'm so excited. It does make me think, what, like, there is a lot of support that I have here, and it's their spiritual support, sacramental support, but like a lot of family and friends that I really heavily rely on. I don't know how people live without friends.
Mm.
And I think that'll be a hard transition because, well, maybe the military, like one of the great things that they do is they do facilitate friendship because you do have to rely on each other and you get really close really fast, usually through suffering together, bonds people together really intensely. But yeah, I'll have to be really attentive and aware of a lot of that stuff as I move on. And we'll have to see how the podcast changes. And I don't know what we're going to do. I thought I was
Right.
going to be gone all of April, but I'll be here for all of April. I
Mm.
was going to go out to do some training in California, but so that's all changed. But because I'm going to be kind of alone as a priest, not alone as a person, like I'll
Right.
be with all these other soldiers, but
But not with other priests.
not with other priests. Yeah. And I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be good
That's
to stay
something I want to
connected.
be aware of. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially in the military.
Yeah.
In the military culture, I'm sure it's very different than rectory culture. A healthy rectory where you're praying together and eating together.
I've heard of guys when I was in Columbia, South Carolina, that's where Fort Jackson is. I've heard of chaplains who will live off post at the rectory of the local parish.
Mm.
And so that they have some sort of community and then they kind of go into work and we'll see how that goes. I refuse to develop friendships with lay people.
Yeah.
No, dude. Yeah.
Not
What?
a good idea.
Gosh, darn.
I
Why even
don't want to
talk
say
about that?
I don't want to say beneath me, but I will. No, it's just gonna be. I need to be around other priests
Totally.
for sure.
And I would imagine the Army crowd is younger.
Yeah.
So that also creates a little bit of a gap. It's harder to relate.
Yeah.
And they see you as this authority figure, spiritual. They need you to be somebody for them. That requires a little bit of distance.
I hope we can cast all the time, but if we can't and we have to go on a hiatus, think about how old and grizzled we'll look when we come back.
Oh man, you'll all be gray.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
I'm so bald already. Like,
Dude, you were bald. That picture with the knitted crocheted hip clip. You were in your 20s and you were already balding.
I know. I don't get it, man.
Can we see
is that
what
is
you're
that
working
true?
with?
Yeah, man. Like this is
Oh. Dude,
yeah.
come on. You got so much hair.
I mean, there's like I'm not complaining. It's just there's a trend that is being noticed that
Right.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about just buzzing it?
No.
Yeah.
Should I?
I don't know. I mean, it might look good, but you don't have like a receding hairline, so it's not like you're tempted to comb over. Like you just kind of it's thinning.
It's thinning. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. That is true.
I don't think buzzing's the way to go, Rob. Not for you.
Little summertime haircut.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Throwback.
dude, once you go bald, like
You don't go
chop
back.
it all off. I
Yeah,
know it's
you
just
don't-
that's
you
a
don't go back.
decision.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just
I don't
saying,
know.
if there's a hiatus, then who knows what we'll look like, especially
That's-
me, dude.
Yeah, you could have a skullet by the time we get back.
Oh, is that a skull mullet?
Yeah, it's a bald mullet.
Yep.
So you're bald in the
Oh,
front.
yep.
And
oh, that's so
I
gross.
know.
Wouldn't
Do
that be
opera
wouldn't that be
conductors have those?
amazing though?
That's right. They kind of do.
Don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Opera
Like
conductors.
or,
What are
or
we? We're
concert
thinking of a
conductors?
cartoon, I'm sure.
What if, oh gosh, wouldn't that be amazing if I had that and all I wanted to talk about when we came back was just trying to get into opera, but it just failed.
You have to have one of those little conductor sticks and
Mhm.
tap it on all these different things.
Yeah.
Looks like a little wand.
It does. What are conductors doing up there?
I don't know.
I used to think that when I was a kid, I thought, are they telling them what notes to play? Because that's insane. Just one guy is conducting everybody. But then I realized that music's all on the paper. The conductor's just play it now. Come on, keep playing it.
I'm talking to you.
I'm talking to you, violins. I'm talking to you, oboes.
That's definitely what conductors do.
Yeah.
You.
Now you guys play.
Oh man, we are ignorant.
Yeah. Oh man, many people were offended by that, I'm sure.
And I love how
Connor,
we're calling
you've
it opera.
studied music. You actually know this.
I mean, they do the tempo, and then they how big they do their arms is how loud you should play. That's all I can discern.
That's what you gathered.
Yeah.
It seems reasonable to me. Can I just say this? I'm very aware. I've really tried to work with optimal computer position and microphone position, but I'm very aware that I might be breathing into the microphone.
I don't notice it. And
you
now
haven't noticed it?
Well, now I don't really go back and listen because Megan does our notes for us. So
I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder if she just hears my nose whistle.
Mm-hmm. She can let us know.
Can we share that's one of my favorite memories of the cast that I don't think has ever been put on the air before.
Share it, Rob.
Yeah. Well, this was 6 months ago. Do you remember this, Bisc? And you were adamant of telling Mike about his nose whistle, and he didn't believe you for a while. In a very aggressive move, you isolated the nose whistle sound and texted it to him.
Yeah,
said,
that's right.
Listen to this.
This is
it was just this.
It's excruciating. Yeah.
It was crystal clear too, dude. I was so convinced that it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
It's some kind of septum issue. Maybe it's related to your throat clearing.
Your septum is an issue. That was defensive. Sorry.
Yeah, that wasn't from the Lord.
Well, anyway, hey, people, this is what you get with diocesan priesthood, baby.
That's
Look at this in all its glory.
Chucklehead.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's true, dude. If we do take a hiatus, we're gonna come back looking like a bunch of grizzled veterans. That'll be bad.
I don't think, but I hope we don't have to take a hiatus. I would love. I mean,
oh yeah,
these days it's just this little microphone and a computer. You're gonna have a computer.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll be in some kind of army computer where you need to put in a password that changes by the minute because it's so confidential. You won't be able to tell us where you are, so we won't know what time zone you're in.
No. I can still make plans and communicate with people.
No, you'll have some blacked out curtain so we can't tell what time of day it
is. I'll still be able to have a personal computer, so that it won't be a problem. We should be able to keep casting, which I think will be really fun. I'll have to be aware of the things that I share and stuff like that, but I don't want to have to murder you guys. I say something
or everybody that listens to us.
Yeah, now I got to find all of our listeners.
I was thinking last week. I do have to get going here, but if people listen to our last episode about the dumb phone and are convinced to get dumb phones, we'll just be chipping away slowly at all of our listeners because you can't listen to the podcast on a dumb phone.
It's a circle of life, dude.
And maybe that's how we end. Is we just get everybody off the internet.
Oh my gosh. That is the abolition of man by C.S. Lewis. Like that is exactly his point.
That would be an epic way to go.
The point of us being on the internet is to gather a coterie of humans that insist on being human, and let's get off of the internet together.
Hand in hand, dude.
Yeah.
We just go into the abyss,
dude,
of humanness.
Into the A-bisc.
Yes,
dude. I told a story yesterday in my homily, and it was about an adventure that ended terribly. The whole point was it was the blind leading the blind, and I was the blind, and led my brothers into a serious booty whooping from my dad, essentially. I left that part out of the homily, but it was like this super fun adventure through the woods. And I was talking to a bunch of kids afterwards, and I was like, tell me about the adventures y'all get into. And they said, we only do virtual adventures.
The kids said that?
The kids said that. And I said, what the hell is a virtual adventure?
It's virtually not an adventure.
Yeah. You're just saying you play video games. That's what you just said to me. And that's your adventure. He doesn't have adventures.
What? They can, though. The adventures are still out there. You just have to stop doing the virtual ones.
That's really scary, man. I was upset. I was visibly shaken.
I've been trying not to talk too much. As I mentioned, I don't want to be the flip phone guy, but Daniel, our team director, said for Lent, like he's suggesting a lot of people manage their screen time for Lent, make a little bit time for prayer. And he's saying, I thought he was joking when he said this quantity, but he was serious. This is the average he hears: 5 hours of screen time on the phone alone of college kids. They spend 5 hours a day looking at their phones. That's crazy, dude.
Dude, you get your flip phone judgment out of here, all right?
No, I'm just saying. I'm not. It's more like a father's concern for his children more than a judgment. It's just like that's not good for you at all. I went and picked up some Chipotle last night. I had a late lunch, so I ate dinner after the 7 p.m. mass, and I was just like, I'm gonna get Chipotle. And as I got out of the car, I saw this girl in the passenger seat, probably waiting for somebody inside, chair all the way back, just looking at Instagram and just like videos right in her face. And the expression on her face was like complete just ennui and sadness. And I was like, man, sorry. I didn't want to bring that up. Yeah, I was concerned.
Yeah. No, I get that. That was my feel too. And I know we got to go, but because my thought was like, dude, if you don't have adventures, like you're not experiencing life, and life is going to come and get you, dude.
Right.
Life is, and so whenever that happens, like, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
You're actually not prepared,
right,
for what you're about to face. And so in that way, it's like it is real deal legit concern. That's part of why you do adventures, and it actually prepares you for life.
Like low stakes adrenaline and danger. Yeah.
And man, life is aggressive, and it's going to kick you in the face. And so it's like, if you're not used to getting kicked in the face, it may knock you out. You know,
that's really wise. Pull that quote, Megan.
That's the Mike Tyson quote.
Everybody's got
a plan till you get punched in the face.
Mm-hmm. It's a great quote.
That's like the wisest thing I've ever heard.
All right, guys. Tyson. I gotta get going.
All right,
Mike Tyson impression. Yeah, I respect him, but I'm definitely gonna make orphans of his children. That's from The Simpsons. I can't claim it.
Oh man, I wish he actually said that. Shoot.
All right, guys. Have a good day. Peace.